there's one guy and lots of girls. The Bachelorette is where there's one girl, lots of guys. Now, here's where this season of The Bachelor is all like hot and heavy, is because Peter, the Bachelor this season, was on The Bachelorette. He made it down to the top 2, and he had his heart broken because he was in love with her and she was not in love with him. So, the world, the Bachelor and the Bachelorette world already know Peter, and he's a pilot, and I mean, come on, he's pretty good looking. So, they decided to cast him as the Bachelor. You know, Bachelor episode 1, he's like washing a plane shirtless and stuff, and I'm like, okay. A, no one washes planes like that. B, put your shirt on. But I mean, it's overkill. Yes, it is overkill. So, that is...
Peter does not love...
No, Maddie does not love Peter. Hannah Ann is heads over heels in love with Peter. I know! He tried to choose Maddie last night, and she said no. She was look, I just don't love you like you love me. We're two different people. And he's like, okay, we ready to do math yet? Well, he's left with Hannah Ann, but then they went on a picnic together, and she can tell that he's got something behind his eyes. But she's like, when I look into his eyes, something's wrong. Now, all of this, I'm being kind of dramatic on purpose because, one, I think it's all fake. I think producers plan everything, and but there's a tiny twinge of like, they are human, so even if producers were telling them what to do, they can still make their own choices, right? Like, Peter could still say whatever he wants to say when the cameras are turned on. He can still choose whoever he wants to choose. And then there's a school of thought on the internet. Please don't think I'm actually a Bachelor fan. My wife isn't. I just find it funny. That he won't end up with either of them, and he actually ends up with like one of the sound people or one of the producers or like a camera person, like somebody from the crew. Because Chris Harrison keeps saying, "You think you know what happens? I guarantee you don't know what happens." He keeps being all like coy about this. Okay. I did not. Okay, time to do math.
So, only 5, is this recording?
Yes, it was recording.
My
screen was frozen, but that was all recording. Let's go.
Maddie does not love Peter.
Well, not the very beginning, because then I started recording.
Only 5 couples in The Bachelor are still together from all the years in The Bachelor.
Look, and here's my biggest opposition. I think the producers told Peter he had to keep Maddie on the show for the TV aspect of the drama. And I also think that's why he said that she's the one he wants for TV drama. Which I will circle this back to an actual teachable moment. This is why we always say you can't just believe what you see or hear or read, or like if it's just on the internet or on TV, that does not mean it's real. Like with the whole coronavirus crazy fears right now, people drank bleach because somehow somebody on the internet put out there that if you think you have coronavirus, you should drink bleach because that will kill the virus. No! Now, bleach won't necessarily kill you. It will totally jack up your stomach and intestines and stuff. Might not kill you, but it could. Do not drink bleach. And Maddie doesn't love Peter. But, time for math. So today, we're diving into what is the best solution strategy. We've talked a lot this chapter about how there's multiple ways that we can do things, and the biggest rule I keep coming back to, the fundamental rule of algebra, we can do anything we want as long as we keep things fair, right? So if we have this equation, I forget if I put it on your paper. I think I put this one on your paper maybe. What did I put on? 128, is it?
Yeah.
Yay! So we have 3x minus 6 equals 27. Nick tried to use this, or solve this equation by adding 6 to both sides, then dividing by 3, and equaling 11. So it says, if he made a mistake, identify what his mistake is. Now, here's really what I want. Well, first off, take a moment. Did he make a mistake? And let me walk over and grab some random cards. Did Nick make any oopsies?
No.
Nick, what do you think? Did Nick make any oopsies? No. Nick solved it right. But my question for you is, can you show Nick another way that he could solve this that does not start with addition first? take a moment, discuss with your team, can we do something else first, and will it still get us the same answer? Take at least 2 minutes.
You can add negatives.
Well, maybe not at least 2 minutes.
You can only add negative.
Well, okay, talk with people.
You can
I know you're all alone, but like turn, move, lean, yell. I don't care. Well, don't yell.
You can multiply.
Shh, you're yelling, Zach.
-1.
Okay, I will rephrase this a tiny bit. A move in the direction of getting the answer. Not just can you do something else. Because yes, you could do something else. Obviously, you could do something else. Shoot, we could add 1,000,000 to both sides. But that's not moving towards the answer.
Is it not?
Do we need to multiply by -1?
Maybe.
Okay, maybe I'm asking this question poorly.
Yeah, I think you are.
Araya. So you said you have the answer. Well, we already have the
answer.
You have a route to get us there. Okay. What else could we do first?
You can divide by 3.
So everybody please write this on your paper below in that space where it's open. Nick started by adding 6 to get rid of the subtraction of 6. But we could, and we've talked a couple times this year, start by dividing by 3. Now here's the dangerous part. This is what you'll be tempted to do. This is wrong. Everything on the left side gets divided by 3. So your division bar needs to be the entire left side gets divided by 3. So I'm going to move my 3 kind of more to the middle of here. And the only reason that this is like a good choice here, you want to tell us?
I don't know.
Lily? Does 27 divide by 3 nicely? Yes. Does 6 divide by 3 nicely?
Yes.
Does 3 divide by 3 nicely?
Yes.
Since everything is a multiple of 3, we can actually do this first. This comes out to be 1x minus 2. This is the mistake you guys will make if you divide first. You'll forget to divide the 6. Like, trust me. I've been at this for 8 years. That's the mistake you'll make. Now, of course, you can make a different mistake to prove me wrong, like Hector from the rock wall last night wanted to prove me wrong. But I've been at this for a while. A kid at the rock wall kept trying to prove me wrong, and I just have fun with those kids. He kept putting his harness on wrong, actually, which is dangerous, so I kept telling him he wasn't allowed to climb. He was like, no!
How old is he?
Oh, he was like 11, probably.
Oh.
Well, because he would come up to me and be like, I'm good, right? And be like, no. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's wrong. Try again. He wouldn't let me help him, so he wanted to do it on his own, but he kept doing it wrong. So then, if I know I'm being a little like ADD today, I'll try to rein it back in. I get it. But if you have questions, please ask me. Are we all okay how we got from blue, did the red, divided everything by 3, and got to the white? What questions are there here? Nick.
On a math test, if we like wrote x instead of 1x, would that still be good?
Yeah, because we said that 1 is unnecessary. I only put that there so people could see it's a result of that division. 3 divided by 3. So because both of these things happen, this 3 divides by 3 and this 6 divides by 3, that's how we get the 1x and the minus 2. So then, because we have minus 2 or a negative 2, we add 2, and that gives us x is 11. Still the same answer, because even if you take a different route, we should get to the same location. We should get to the same answer. So, now that you understand what I'm really asking for, in 129, ask yourself, what's the most efficient way to solve this? Would it be to start by distributing the 3, like with the arrows, or is there a better option? So now on your graph paper, I should say everyone kind of switching gears to their graph paper, everyone should be writing out 3 parentheses 2x plus 4 equal to negative 6. And if we visualize this, that is 3 groups of, I should have eyes up here, 3 groups of 2x's and 4. Talk with your team. What's the most efficient way to solve this? Take like 2 minutes, please. Talk with your team, write some things down. There are multiple ways. There's just one best way. Oh, yeah, she's happy. We've been having this this year too. She said she's not used to it. She's like, yeah, you have to find it. Random cards. Nikki, what do you think is the best way to start this? You think we do the distributive property? I will follow your lead. So you gotta add the sound effects. So 6x, not at first actually, plus 12 equals negative 6. So after I distributed, we had that. So then, Bella, if this is where we're at now, if we are now at red, what do? It doesn't matter what route you took. If we're now at red, what do? We're together now. We're going to divide by 6. Now, we can because why here? Everything is multiples of 6. So if we divide by 6 everything on the left and everything on the right, this comes out to be, I guess I'll write in white now, x plus 2 equals negative 1. Hold up, give me eyes. Even if this isn't the route you took, does what I've shown up here make sense? We drew the red arrows to distribute the multiplication. We got the red equation. Then we divided by 6 and got the white equation. Now the last thing we need to do, Luz, to get x by itself here, what number does x still have on the left side? And it's attached by, how's the x attached to the 2? Yeah, how do we undo that? There we go. So we are going to, we'll use gray here, subtract 2, and that's going to give us x is negative 3. There's a better way. There's a better way. That's fine. That's the answer. There's a better way. Y'all tried too hard. On your graph paper, draw a squiggly or something. Write down your blue equation again. Just trust me. Well, I mean, if you took it the other way, you maybe don't have to do it again. But all right. Clone. Where's clone? Where's clone? Clone. Wow. My better step is don't do this. my better process will only need that much screen, and my better process actually starts up here. Mirabelle?
Yeah.
Well, I know what I did.
What did you do?
I subtracted 12 and divided 6 on both sides after the distributed property.
Nope.
Okay. You would divide by 6.
There's no 6 up here. Well, there's that 6, but
I don't know.
everybody just stop talking and think for a minute. Stop talking and listen to my question and let your brain think. Do not try to answer, because I don't want to hear an answer. This is more of a rhetorical question. I have this set of stuff, right? Some tiles. It's a lot here. I want to get to the end result of what just one of these is. Right now, I'm looking at 3 groups. It'd be easier if I just looked at a group. So if I just want to look at a group, on the left side, how do I split? I'm not looking for an answer. How do I split what I have over here to only look at a group? Now, by algebra's rules, like the main rule, if I do something over there, I got to do the same something over here. So if I want to only look at this top group and I split this, I'm looking at what of it, Morgan? Right? Yeah, a portion. What portion? A third. I'm only looking at a third of my stuff. So over here, I want to look at just a third of my stuff. The best way to start this, see that 3 that wants to multiply? Don't do that. That's extra work. Instead, just divide by 3 and divide by 3. Now here's where you will get confused. The 2x and the 4 don't divide by 3. Because it should stop. This is why I said, like, close your mouth and just listen and think. This is gonna turn into 6x plus 12, right? And then when I divide that by 3, that's gonna turn into 2x plus 4. The thing in the parentheses. Molly, you with me? Because you're looking over there.
No, I'm not. I'm looking right there.
Okay. So this division stops this from happening. By dividing by 3, by doing this, we're canceling out this because we're stopping the multiplication and literally we're turning this into 1. We're turning that, so we have one set of 2x plus 4. So if we divide by 3 on both sides, please go ahead and write this down now. My left side becomes just 2x plus 4. And my right side just becomes negative 2. Now I've got less stuff to deal with. Guys, it's not right versus wrong. I'm just showing you another strategy. What we just did with the distributive property on the last screen, like this, was totally fine. That's fine. That's a good process. But, like, I know when my wife says it's fine, that doesn't mean it's fine. That means she doesn't like it. So this process is fine. It's like when I buy the wrong creamer at the store. It's fine, but it's not really fine. This is good. Really, that's like, if I get a good out of her, I'm pretty happy. By the way, I like to make jokes with my wife. I really, really do love my wife. We have a great relationship. So when I make jokes, I'm just trying to be funny. But, like, really, she's the boss lady. When she says something's fine, it's okay. Like, it will work. But she doesn't love it. This is better than fine. This is awesome. Because now, Molly, now you got to prove that you are with me. What can I do here? And there are multiple options. What can I do here now?
So you can take the 4 and the negative 2, and you will get 2.
Close. Inverse operations. So come along with me. How is this 4 attached to the 2x?
By division.
Ooh,
No, multiply, adding.
yeah, this, right? How do we undo that?
So you're gonna divide.
How do we undo addition?
Subtract.
That's it. So we subtract. So be careful. We don't add the 4 with the 2. We actually subtract the 4.
Yeah.
So please make sure you write this out. I'm going to assume that you're dancing, that you already had it written.
Yeah, I did.
So now that gives us 2x equals negative 6. Because guys, negative 2 go down 4 more. And now to get rid of that 2, anybody? We divide by 2. And the answer comes out the same and conveniently spaced. Literally, my answer was already written here from the last slide where we solved it. You will get the same answer. It is not right versus wrong. If you want to distribute first, fine. Distribute first. That's fine. But it's fine. This is better. It's quicker. It's more efficient. It's smaller numbers. It's less jargon, right? Like less stuff to deal with. Morgan? We could. We could actually, if we grab all of this, if we grab all of this and literally say, well, okay, if we don't take that route, really, you're going to not grab a single division by 2. And Morgan said, we could up here instead divide everything by 2, divide by 2. That will give us x plus 2 equals negative 1. Then we subtract 2 from both sides. Hey guys, make sure the side conversations are not impacting us paying attention. Because these are now, we've shown 3 different ways that we can attack that problem. Now, the only reason we could divide up here, everything is divisible by the thing we want to divide by. So since we're trying to divide by 2, we check, can you divide by 2? Can you divide by 2? Okay, let's do it. If the answer to any of those is no, don't. Don't do it. You can't. It's fine. It'll just be messy. So Cisco and Misty, they sound like new rapper names. Cisco and Misty need to construct a chicken coop for their famous egg-laying hens. Because normally chickens lay eggs and hens don't, I think. I don't know. That's why I shouldn't have said anything. The hens need at least 108 square feet of living space.
Wow. Why do they need so much room?
That's not that much room, actually. Here's the important info. Length of the coop is 3 feet longer than the width. Please write something down to justify the length is 3 feet longer than the width. So if length is, that's L equals, right? Length is. Lydia, how do I write 3 feet more than the width? So what am I going to put here for L equals? Ooh, not times 3. Yeah, 3 feet longer. So W plus 3. If it was 3 times as much as the width, then we would do 3W. But this is 3 longer. And then what's W?
W equals W.
W is W. Now, if they're talking about the area, I want you guys to write out the appropriate work to show that their area needs to be exactly 108. Now, how do we find area of a rectangular coop? Length times width. So you're going to set up on your paper. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to solve. What is the W? Because it is, normally we don't actually use uppercase letters when we're talking about variables. Uppercase letters will notate points, like point A or point B, like on a graph. We normally use lowercase, but my lowercase L's look like ones. So that's why when I'm trying to write in lowercase, I make it cursive. I don't know why I made that capital is the bigger question.
Oh, it's 53.
to substitute. If you end up getting the number 105, you are wrong.
You are wrong.
I'm wrong.
Because we cannot subtract 3 first. We cannot subtract 3 first. We cannot. So guys, this is a trap door. When we, hey, come back with me. I feel like a lot of us are taking bad roads. Bumpy, filled with potholes and dragons and yes. When we replace L with W plus 3, this plus 3 is stuck inside parentheses. I cannot subtract 3 right now. That plus 3 is stuck. What I can do, please do this on your paper because I feel like a lot of you didn't, is draw arrows to do this multiplication, and that actually gets us W squared plus 3W. Because W times W is W squared. A number times itself is that squared. Pretty much everybody who I glanced at real quick as I walked around was trying to subtract 3. We can't. It's trapped. And we don't even have 3 now. We have 3W equals 108. Insert bad word here. We don't know how to do this. We, like you know, when you see a situation and you're like bad word, like just because you're like, oh crap, I can't do this. But normally a worse word than crap. So, guys, this, you know what we should start doing? This is going to be another like ADD moment thing. You know the comics where they have like word bubbles?
Yeah.
We should start doing that like in our math notes. Like, crap!
That's on recording.
Yes.
You're getting sued.
I don't know about that. There's not enough teachers anymore because everyone's getting sick, so I think I'm safe. So, guys, this, can we, hold on, don't write this down, can I subtract 3W from both sides? I mean, I could, but does that help over here? No. Can I go back here and divide both sides by W? No, because dividing this by W that doesn't help. Stop. Here's the thing. We're not 5D-ing anymore. We're using that thought process to solve this problem. Come with me as we walk down this thought process. We're not going to like write things down. Just come think with me. If the coop had a width of, I don't know, 10, because 10's an easy number. Is that what you were going to process through? I saw your hand. Sorry, I just wanted to like get something out first. Do you want to help me? No? Okay, so if the coop had a width of 10, what's the length? 13. Thank you, Maeve. Because we know up here that width is 3 plus. So if I plug in a 10 here, if I make that 10, this is really 13. Is that 108? Too big, too small? Too big. So do this process, guys. Or if you choose a W, you can do this process. What is 10 squared plus 3 times 10? It's too much. Sarah? Let's try. What is 9 squared plus 3 times 9? Or if I plug in 9 up here, this is 12. What's 9 times 12? 108, because this is 81. So guys, there are algebraic processes you don't know how to solve yet. Please do not think I'm telling you we can't. That's not true. We can totally use algebra to solve this. And I'll show you how in just a moment once I'm confident that you've all written this down. But when you hit a situation that has like a variable squared, we don't know how to do that algebra yet. So we have to go back and use something that always works, the 5D thought process of try something, test it, and adjust your guess. That's a thought process that we want to hold with us. You do not have to write out all the columns of describe and do, define, declare. You don't have to write all those out. You just have to think through the problem using that method. Guess, check, modify. Check it out though. Come with me for a moment. If you wanted to solve this, you can write this down if you want. Aside from that, I would just put your pencil down. This is how algebra actually would solve this. We would take the 108 away from both sides.
What?
Yes, just come with me. We would get this to w squared equals 3w minus 108 equals 0. We then, and if you ever come into my classroom 2A, you'll see us doing stuff like this. We then factor this trinomial, saying what two binomials will add to 3 and multiply to 108. When we solve that, we get a positive 12 and a negative 9, because when you multiply these things, w times w equals w squared. W times negative 9 and 12 times w makes 3w, and then the 12 times the negative 9 makes the negative 108. What this tells us is using these two pieces right here equal to 0. If this was 0, w would be negative 12. If this was 0, w would be positive 9, and the only answer that makes sense. Sorry, that's my, hey, did you take your heart pill yet? I just adjusted the time for the weekend. Width cannot be negative 12. Width can't be negative. The only answer that makes sense is positive 9, which is the answer we got using the 5D process. Literally, that's the math you'll be doing in high school math 2 your sophomore year. I teach that to 8th graders. If you're curious, during 2A, that's legitimately what we've been doing. Like for the past month. You don't know how to do that. So instead, use the 5D thought process. And really use it up here. Plug something in, plug in that thing plus 3, try it, adjust it. Try this on your own. You see a partial 5D set up here. This line should tell you all the information that you need, or really this line kind of tells you really the information that you need. You probably did. So you did a guess and a check. You just never had to modify. You did the 5D. You guys just want to argue with me, and that's fine. I don't like losing arguments that I know the truth behind. Sarah wants to argue she didn't 5D, but I'm telling her she did. She just never had to modify. So that's the conversation we're having. Is she said, I just knew that 9 and 12 make 108, and I knew that they were 3 apart. So she just got it on her first guess. Like, she still did 5D. She just got it on her first guess.
So all multiplication is 5D.
So side A, side B, and side C, if we call them that, side A, side B, side C. B is side A plus 2, right? C is side B plus 4. Guys, this is the type of problem that you guys get stuck on because side B, why is it that I doubt that we're doing math? No, but that Meredith is all interested in this stuff happening, why you're not listening to me. So C uses side B, and this is where you all get confused, because C would reference the longest side is 4 more than the middle side, but the middle side is 2 more than the shortest side. So we would start our setup If you don't want a 5D, which now some of you might be like, oh crap, we might as well just 5D. It's easier. It's arguable. The shortest side is X, right? And actually, I'm going to go ahead and label that S for the shortest side, but then we'll call it X. The medium side, or the middle side, is X plus 2. And the longest side is the medium side plus 4. But we know better, right? We don't want to do that. We don't want to do M plus 4. So instead of using M, you put in the X plus 2 for the M. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Who's got questions on how we're able to pull this out of our 5D? Because as you all reacted negatively when I said time to 5D, we don't need to 5D if we can just algebra. So if we take the algebra, how many X's do we have in total?
3.
I took my pill. Stop it. 1, 2, 3, right? So we have 3 X's. What are our constants? Well, a 2, and a 4, so an 8. And then we want to equal a perimeter of 35. Everyone on your paper, please write down 3x plus 8 equals 35. Once we group those like terms, that is what we have. Callie, what do we do? Yeah, because if you think about dividing by 3, can this divide by 3? Not nice. Can this divide by 3? Not nice. But we can subtract 8, and that works totally fine. 3x equals 27. Thank you. People that are good at math. I'm not very good. Eights and sevens always like made me nervous. Like subtracting 8s and 7s, like it just messes with my brain. What do we do now? Since we have 3 times x, we want to divide. And we can find out their shortest side is 9. Now be careful. Hold on. Stop. This is right, but you're not done. Because on a mastery, please read the problem even after you think you're done. Because when one of these problems says, what are the lengths of all 3 sides, and you give me 1, that's not, like, you're not done. You now have to go back and give me the other lengths. Well, if x is 9, we come back to what we set up. Okay, so that's the smallest side. What's the medium side? 11, and then the longest side is 15, right? 9, 11, and 15. Those would be your answers. Maybe on the test I just need to put like 15 S's to say like, did you give me all of your answers?
Or all of the
Are we okay?
No.
Those aren't words. 1 second. 1/1000. Look, I've always said if you don't learn math, if you at least have a good time here, I'm okay with that. Try this. I wonder if we can do this in the 3 minutes we have left. Total. Write this down, please. Total 4109. That's not actually that many B's. Hives normally have like hundreds on hundreds, so that's like a few hives. That's a hive. So a hive has multiple of the like those things that you pull up with the honey. A hive will have like 10 of those. So I have a friend who used to do beekeeping out in California. He like brought me honey that was from his bees.
I thought you were gonna say he brought you bees, and I was like,
No, that would scare me. There were 33 more nurses than drones. If you didn't know this, the types of bees are broken up into really 3 types, but then there's a queen also. Hey, you guys got to come back. I can only do that stuff if you can bring it back. Okay, so bring it back. I want to be able to be goofy, but you got to be able to bring it back. The number of workers was 12 more. Ooh, that gets rough. 12 more than 6 times the number of drones. So let's set this up. Let's color code it.
Yes.
Nurses. N, because I put it in green. How do we write nurses? Hold up, Eric. How do we write nurses?
You write D plus 33.
Yeah, D plus 33 because it's 33 more than the drones.
You did it capitalized.
I know, I'm sorry. Workers. W. Morgan, how do we write out the expression for workers? This one's tough. Ooh, 6D plus 12. And then, what B haven't we talked about? D, right? The drones. So D is D. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that up here, actually. And we're not including the queen.
No queen.
So I could tell you really cool stories about queen bees and how they protect them and everything. We're out of time, so we will start by just doing this problem as a refresher tomorrow. Hold up, but if you want to hear that cool story, when bees lose their hive, their one job is protect the queen. Literally, their one job is protect the queen. So if the queen leaves the hive and goes to like a tree, the other bees, the workers and the drones, will swarm and just cover the queen. Literally covering. And because of what they're doing, and I did not do this, but my friend Chris swears that you can take your hand and reach into this pile of bees, and they will not sting you. Because they once they sting you, they die. And they don't want to die because they need to protect the queen. So when they lose their hive, the bees get all confused and behave really weird. Let me spin this to why you should care. So when we take giant machinery and go through it and like wipe out entire like forest areas and stuff to put up housing developments, we destroy the hive, and then all the bees get real confused and don't know what to do. That's an issue that we're seriously facing. Right now, we need to solve the bee issue because otherwise all of our crops will die.
Let's hope that the bees let
So it's on you. It's on your generation. Solve these problems. Off task? Oh, I thought you were going to say in my class talking about things that aren't math related.
This is math related. How about 80%?
Well, talking about the Bachelor isn't really. I mean, that is me understanding that 1A can only start so quickly, and a little bit of off-task talking actually helps us then dive into the math. It's something that I've kind of figured out over the years.
That's what you should have done for a term, just have heated like debates about The Bachelor.
Okay, so hold on that note, stay here for a moment. Sarah?
Okay.
So you're really